Hello to whoever is watching this video. This is Courtney Lawson. I am the research assistant at heading up this project, the Saints by Sea project. I work in the Family History Library within the Harold B. Lee Library on BYU campus. Thanks for joining me today for this part one of training for the Saints by Sea project. Just a little bit about this project. It was started about 25 years ago by some professors at BYU, and they started digitizing the passenger lists kept by the church of those immigrating from Europe or other places to the United States to join the saints in Zion. So these passenger lists are a little bit different from other passenger lists you're going to find on Family Search or Ancestry or other genealogy websites, but still they serve a great purpose and can provide some added information. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to find each of these individuals' corresponding person on Family Search, and we're going through and linking them up, and then we're sending off the information to Family Search, and Family Search is going to send or attach Saints by Sea as a source to each of those individuals, and then let the descendants of those individuals know that their ancestor was found on ship A in 1874. And so it's a really exciting project to be a part of, and I am grateful to you for helping us out. So just a brief overview of the database. This is the main page. You can find just basic info on here. It used to be called Mormon Migration, so if you see something that refers to Mormon Migration, this is the same website. We just changed the name. Let's see. So if you go to Browse Voyages, it'll show you all the years that we have data of people immigrating to the United States. Of course, we know that there are people that immigrated that are not recorded in these. Maybe we don't have the passenger list, etc. But we run with the information that we do have. You can browse the voyages by port, ship name, and that's about it. And then you can also search on the database as well. You click Advanced Search. If you have a relative that you know has the last name Hansen and immigrated in 1888, you can search that up, and all the individuals traveling with the last name Hansen in 1888 will come up, which is a lot of people, so good luck. But that is a little bit about the Saints by Sea website. Okay, so in order to research, you have to go to one of the spreadsheets that we've created with different years of immigration. We have a different page for each different year of immigration. We have this giant spreadsheet split up into smaller years. So we have written out instructions, and you can access the spreadsheets by year range. And as research is completed on certain years, or if there are no records of passengers in certain years, we update this page with that information. So we're going to go ahead and look at 1840 to 1849. But you are welcome to look at whatever year you want to. And as you can see, certain years are already completed, 1869 through 1871, so on and so forth, and years will continue to be completed. But there is still a lot of work to be done. So we go to 1840 to 1849. I'll just give you a little tour of the spreadsheet. So we have, for each of the individuals that immigrated, we have their date of departure, the date their ship left, the name of the ship, the port of departure, Liverpool, which is in England, arrival, New Orleans, down Louisiana, name, whatever their name is, estimated birth year, Saints by Sea ID, so on and so forth. A little explanation about this estimated birth year in the Saints by Sea ID. If I click on this individual, click on Margaret Caruth, we'll look at her page. So as you can see, she lists her first and last name, her age, her gender, and some other information. Not every person is going to have this information. Some people will have more information, some people will have less information, but based off of the data that we have, we can determine an approximate birth year, and sometimes we can determine where she's come from. In this case, she doesn't have a place that she's from listed, but often it'll list a place of origin, a place like England, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and you can use that to aid you in your research. Additionally, each person in Saints by Sea has a Saints by Sea ID. It's listed in the URL. So up here, Margaret Saints by Sea ID is 70454. And each individual is going to have an ID just as they do on Family Search. Thankfully, we have them divided up in the spreadsheet, so you know this is their Saints by Sea ID. FSID is Family Search ID. If you research an individual and you find a Family Search ID that you believe to be their match, you would put that here, and you would also link it, create a hyperlink to the corresponding Family Search page. Volunteer, this is where you will put your name. We have this just to keep track of different groups that are researching, researchers themselves, and just make sure that we know that people are being held responsible for their research. If there is maybe a problem, we can narrow it down, and perhaps somebody is doing something wrong, we can ask them to do something or provide better training, so on and so forth. Certainty. If you find a Family Search ID, we want you to list how certain you are that this ID is a match to this individual on Saints by Sea. So there are 4 different certainties. There's a high, a medium, a low, and then a research further. High, well, that's if you're absolutely certain. Medium, could be them. Maybe there's not enough sources. There are lots of people that immigrate not with their families, just immigrate on their own. So you would go ahead and do maybe medium because you think this is the person, but there's not enough. You don't have that family to help you determine if it's the right person. Low, this is the only thing that could be them. And research further, which is actually quite common, is if you cannot find anything for the individual, go and put research further, and we'll have research assistants and other genealogists going back through at some point, doing more research on the individuals to try and find their actual matches or potentially create a person for them in Family Search. Certainty comments. We ask that if you list the certainty medium or low, you list why. You click or you typed in that certainty. So perhaps they needed more sources, perhaps something was just wrong, there wasn't a family to determine it. Put that here. So that's what all of that is. If we keep scrolling, we have these potential FSIDs. Now we've teamed up with the Record Linking Lab on BYU campus to kind of create different programs and algorithms to try and find potential matches within Family Search for these Saints by Sea individuals. As you can see, there weren't potential matches that came up for everyone, but some individuals did have 1 or more Family Search IDs come up as potential matches. So when researching somebody that has a potential Family Search ID, you look at this Family Search ID within Family Search to see if it's a match. If it is a match, you go to this fill color box and click on light magenta 3, highlight it, and we know that this is a match. You don't need to put a comment. If it is not a match, we ask that you click on strike through and then list why it's incorrect. Incorrect because perhaps they were born in the US, perhaps they immigrated in a different year, perhaps there could be any number of reasons, but we ask that you list why this individual is incorrect, or this Family Search ID is incorrect match. And there are 4 different columns because an individual can have up to 4 potential Family Search IDs. Match score is based off of the Record Linking Lab certainties. They listed how high they think it is that this Family Search ID could be a match. So in this row, the match score was 5, which is pretty good. So this potential FSID has a pretty high certainty of being a match. This isn't to necessarily dissuade or persuade you in your research that the family search ID is a match, but it's to potentially give you an idea of what you may be seeing. But it's okay if a match that is a 6, 5 isn't a match to the Saints by Sea person. Happens quite often, and that's okay. Let's see. One more piece of information. Individuals that immigrated before 1869 would have crossed the plains on handcart or in companies. And so lots of individuals have already had those sources listed on their family search page. So that is a good indicator that those individuals are a match for one of these individuals that immigrated in 1848 and then crossed with a handcart company. In 1869, the railroad was finished, and so individuals that immigrated then came the rest of the way to Utah on train. So if you're researching somebody after 1869 and you find a person in family search that has information about them coming in a handcart company, it's a guarantee that that is not a match, unless perhaps they were a missionary traveling with the group of individuals. Hopefully this is enough information to get the ball rolling and get your mind thinking about the Saints by Sea project. Again, we're so grateful that you're helping us with this, and please continue to watch the other videos to learn how to best research.